everybody, Tekking101 here with another One Piece review for you today. I'm going to make this a brief one, or at least I'm going to try to, in under like 10-15 minutes, because that Bleach chapter this week, man, that was, whew. That was pretty wild. I need to go shopping. I need to get some stuff for that one, but that'll be coming up later today. But I didn't. There was no One Piece chapter last week, and before that, I didn't review the previous chapter, 828. So I kind of want to talk about One Piece right now. So this chapter is honestly just directed toward one thing, and it is focused on Big Mom. The title of the chapter is the Yonko, Charlotte, Linlin, the Pirates. We get a little bit from the Straw Hats very briefly at the beginning of the chapter. It mostly focuses on them. They're still en route to Whole Cake Island. And they are following the map that Pudding drew for them. This is just like a rough layout of it. So basically the whole gist of the map is that you have to start at Cacao Island, and you have to, like, before you reach the next island, you have to change course, because Big Mom has like those sensory slugs like laid out all around each and every island in her territory in Totland. So if you get too close to the island, it'll set the sea slugs off, and then that'll cause like a red alert. And the only reason they were able to land at Cacao Island was because they had Peckhams with them, and Peckhams is missing. They have no idea where he went. They kind of want to look for him, but it's like, no, this is, you know, he'll find his way. He's capable, you know, hopefully he'll be all right. We just have to kind of keep going forward and finding Sanji. They can't stay at Cacao Island much longer with they'll get found out. So, you know, obviously somebody already knows that they're there because they scrawled the freaking, you know, serial killer message, like, get out while you can. So, yeah. But anyway, yeah, they're traveling, and they notice that the entire area in Totland, like, obviously the weather's very different. Like, so there's, like, rivers of, like, juice, like, flowing in the ocean. Like, there's a grape juice river and, like, an apple juice river, and, you know, everyone's like, oh, man, this land is so fantastical. And Pedro mentions that he's been here before. Pedro, like, refers to, like, oh, yeah, this is how the weather works here. I've been here before. And this was mentioned in the last chapter when Pedro met another mink on Cacao Island, and Pedro doesn't really want to talk about it, but it's clearly going to be, like, an important thing coming up. I don't know if it's something like Pedro a long time ago visited Cacao Island or the Totland with a bunch of minks, and because the whole deal is, like, on the surface anyway, it's supposed to be a utopian society where people of all different species can stay. Maybe a lot of the other minks that Pedro was with decided to stay on the island, and Pedro was like, this smells a little fishy, I'm getting the fuck out of here. And so they kind of had to part ways. So maybe Pedro's like a little bit concerned about that, but we're probably going to find out about that later. The discussion is interrupted when, like, a giant sea monster attacks, of course, in typical One Piece fare, so everyone just gets ready to attack it. There's a lightning storm going on right now, so it's really kind of annoying. Well, anyway, yeah, they attack the monster, and that's pretty much the last scene we get there. They'll probably defeat it. Toriko is, I mean, One Piece is vastly becoming more similar to Toriko for me here. I don't know, at least this arc is going to be. I'm already hungry even just talking about this shit. Well, anyway, the rest of the chapter is nothing but Big Mom going on a freaking eating rampage in one of her, on one of her islands, on an island called, well, it's called Sweet Town. She's attacking, and she's just like, you know, last chapter when she was dancing in that field with all the different, you know, amazing whimsical creatures, you know, like the sun, everything had a face on it, and there's a hamburger bouncing around and pineapples and cookies, and they're just having a good old-fashioned time, like, out of a freaking fairy tale. Well, now Big Mom's attitude is completely changed, and she is just on this rampage. She is just grabbing everything she can fucking shove in her gullet, and she's just mad with, like she's not even, like, you know, conscious of what she's doing. She's just like, I need this particular food. And we find out that Big Mom suffers from a very rare kind of medical disease, or like an eating disorder, where until she gets a specific kind of dish, she goes on this crazy eating rampage. You know, that's the only way that can, satisfy her. And today's particular dish that's on the menu is something called a croquembouche. I ain't never heard of it. It's gonna thunder again. Yeah. I ain't never heard of this thing before in my life. I actually had to go and look it up on the internet. But this is a croquembouche. It's a French dish. It's basically like a bunch of pastry balls that are, you know, put in a cone into like a single bowl, and then they're tied together with strings made of caramel. I'm not really a caramel fan, but it does look pretty delicious. And until Big Mom receives a perfect croquembouche, somebody can shove in her mouth, then she's just gonna eat everything and anything that comes in her freaking field of vision. And even her own island, you know, this is her territory that she's devouring here. She's eating whole buildings. So we see a brief view of the Big Mom Pirates. We see Tamago the egg dude, and he's, like, freaking out because he doesn't know, like, oh, there was a group of pastry balls that were staying in a hotel. It's really coming down out there. Jesus Christ. Man. But anyway, yeah, there was, like, a group of pastry balls that were staying in a hotel, and they're, like, of course, sentient like everything else on the island, you know, but they left, so they don't know where they went, so they don't know how to get their hands on a croquem bush at this hour, you know. So Big Mom is in the sweet town, and the leader of the island, you know, each island has its own particular chancellor. We have, like, the chancellor of gelatin, and his name's Mr. Musket, and he's one of Big Mom's children. He's the 16th son, because it's, like, such a huge family. But even to her own son, she doesn't even recognize him. She's just like, would you like to give me a treat or die? And so here comes another big one. Yep. Damn. It's nature. I don't know what else to do here. Sorry, guys. I don't even know if you can hear that, but man, that's loud. Okay, so anyway, she eats her own, well, she doesn't eat her own son. She uses, I'm assuming her devil fruit ability. That's kind of the key point of this chapter. We find out what Big Mom can really do. All of a sudden, Mr. Musket's, like, this, like, goo, or, like, ooze, or, like, his spirit, or something ethereal comes out of his body, and then Big Mom just kind of grabs it, and she says, 40 years, and she just rips it out of him. So, Big Mom's ability is apparently, like, to rip out a number of years in a person's life. And then Mr. Musket just drops dead. He already seemed like he was kind of a middle-aged guy, so 40 years getting ripped out of him probably would be enough to kill him. So, yeah, Big Mom just killed her own child just because she has this eating disorder. So, you know, that's probably going to be a force to be reckoned with, and that's going to come back into play later on, most certainly in the arc. You know, Big Mom is, you know, all cool and collected, then all of a sudden, I need chocolate cake! And there better be fucking sprinkles! And she just goes crazy. You know, that's going to be nuts. And, well, there is a Nuts Island, actually. Yeah, it is going to be nuts on the Nuts Island. You got to be careful about Nuts Island, you know, you don't know what's going to go down there. But yeah, that's her ability, so I don't know, because last time we saw Big Mom, her whole thing apparently was, like, acid, you know, like, she was salivating so much, and, like, One Piece already has, like, really weird characters in it, so you want to give me a giant lady that can, you know, spit acid, and that's just her thing, that's not even a devil fruit power? Sure! Okay, fine with it. You want to have a whole island full of sentient desserts? Go for it! I'm cool. So that's the thing. I think it finally started to stop raining there. Yeah, that's most likely her devil fruit ability, bar none. You know, I thought it was gonna be something revolving around well, I don't know, maybe she could, like, take the life force out of humans and put it into, like, desserts and shit. I don't know, but she can most certainly remove, like, the time from a character and have it completely sucked out of them. I don't know if there's a limit on this. I don't know if she could just go up to Luffy and be like, 300 years, and just rip out, and he just dies immediately. I don't know if there's a limit on this or what, but we're probably going to find that out. So, she just keeps going on this rampage throughout the entire chapter. That's pretty much all it is. And then at the very end, we get Jinbei. Jinbei shows up at Sweet's town, and he has with him a croquem bush. He apparently grabbed the puffs that were leaving the hotel at the last minute, and then bundled them all together in a croquem bush, and just, like, literally just shoved it down Big Mom's throat. And she eats it, and she's like, oh, I'm okay now. It's all good. Alright, just everybody's dead. It is a wake of destruction that's on her own island, but she's okay. You think that, like, considering everybody knows about this disorder, they would have, like, every conceivable dessert on standby, just, like, in case this would happen. Like, the idea, like, we have all these islands all focused around particular desserts, and Big Mom is craving a dessert, and it's like, oh shit, we don't know what to do, nowhere to be found, man. I mean, they should have this prepared. They should have, like, a team of chefs on every island that's just ingredients ready to go for any conceivable dessert she could want. If that was the case. Well, anyway, Jinbei is apparently in league with Big Mom, or at least he has an alliance with the Big Mom pirates. And this makes sense, because they were currently under the protection of them. Well, they used to be before Fishman Island. Fishman Island was under the protection of Whitebeard. After Whitebeard died, Big Mom offered her protection in exchange for, you know, compensation in terms of candy. And then at the end of Fishman Island arc, apparently Luffy was like, you know, fuck you, Big Mom, we're in charge of the island now. So I don't know if Big Mom is still in league with the island, if she's still getting paid in terms of candy there, or something else happened with that. But apparently her and Jinbei are still on really good terms. So Jinbei then says, oh, wait, hold up. No? I saw lightning. Little bit. Okay, not very much. It's moving away. I think we're good. Well, anyway, yeah. Jinbei, last scene of the chapter, says, I have something very urgent I need to talk to you about, Big Mom. And Big Mom just kind of strikes a serious grin. And she's like, oh, you're not thinking of leaving my crew, are you? Now, I'm just saying, she knows Luffy's around. She knows the Straw Hats are around. I don't know if she knows that Jinbei and Luffy have a connection. She most certainly should. Because Jinbei helped out Luffy during Impel Down and during Marineford, so she should know they have a connection. So, Straw Hats are around. All of a sudden, Jinbei shows up. And Jinbei's like, I have something really important to talk to you about. And it's like, so I'm thinking, Big Mom, the gears are turning, like she might know where this is going here. I don't know if we're going to follow through with the whole Jinbei joining the Straw Hats thing. I would love that, personally. But I don't know if this is the arc where that's going to happen. But Jinbei's back in the scene, so it's always cool to see him. Really awesome character. And of course, they need some more help on this, the Straw Hats anyway. So I don't know if that's what Jinbei's going to talk about, or if he's going to talk about, I'm just going to leave for the Straw Hats. Jinbei's a pretty smart character, so I think he can imagine what would happen if he just came up to Big Mom and be like, yeah, I'm leaving your crew and going to join your enemies. Yeah, it's probably going to be a fight there, I would assume, maybe. But I don't know, it's the One Piece universe where, you have the Germa Double Six, they're just like, yes, we'll let you go. I'm like, no, you should really kill them, but whatever, it's cool. We didn't really get much from the Germa Double Six, we didn't get anything from them, we didn't find out anything about Sanji's others, his brothers or anything like that. We saw at the end of last chapter, so that'll be coming up. But yeah, the whole point of this chapter is basically just to show that Big Mom has the eating disorder and that her devil fruit powers have something to do with removing the time or the life force from her enemies. And that's it. So, and then Jinbei, of course, shows up. So, thank you guys for watching. That's the end. What do you guys think? What's going to happen next? Do you think Jinbei is going to join the Straw Hats by the end of the arc? Do you think Jinbei is just going to say straight up to Big Mom, like, fuck you, I'm leaving? Probably not the way that he would put it, but you know what I mean. And, with theories on her devil fruit, what could it possibly be called? I don't know, like the, time fruit, life fruit, I'm not sure. The time fruit, that actually might, or that sounds more similar to something like Jory Bonnie would have, or like the age fruit, because she can change her age. Oh my god, why is Jory Bonnie not in this arc? Oh my, I just realized that. You need to figure out a way to get her in this arc right now, Oda. This is perfect. This is absolutely so serendipitous if she were to show up. I mean, she was always a really cool supernova, and we didn't get really much from her, and she's always going around being like, I'll never forgive them. I'll never forgive them. I'm like, forgive who? What are you talking about, girl? And you're like wicked hot. I said it. I don't care if she eats like a mountain of food. She's still hot. I mean, when she's an adult, not when she's 12 or when she's like 82. But, she needs to be showing up, okay? Man, I would be so disappointed if they don't go through with that. Okay, anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I gotta get going. Sorry about the lightning and thunder interruptions, but what are you gonna do? That's when nature just fucks up your review. Anyway, thanks for watching. Tekking signing out.